Bitcoin, for the first time in many months, is right now below $100,000 per coin. And one of the main indicators that we have been following for this crypto bull run since early 2023 is this 50 simple moving average on the chart. Every single time during this bull run, Bitcoin has held above this 50 EMA. And for the first time, we can see price is well below and looks like this could be the end of the bull run. So that is what we will be analyzing today. Here we can see with this 55 EMA, we're actually right now about 6% below the EMA. And if we actually backtest and look during this entire bull run, we've never come more than only a few percent below this 50 EMA. We saw 3.5% back in early 2025 when we had all this Trump and tariff announcement. Then back here, you can see only a couple of percent. That's 2.5%. That's another 1.5%. And then we never actually traveled below until we finally broke above it. That was in that early 2023 region, as I mentioned. So here, that major support, that major psychological support of $100,000 is really being tested. We can see we do have nearly 3 days left in this weekly chart. And one thing I'm always following as well is we do see patterns of around 30 weeks from bottom to bottom. And right now, if we do measure from this last bottoming channel, we extend it across. Right now, we are on the 31st bar. We can actually backtest this strategy again. We can see the last major low here in late 2024. And we can measure the same back here and measure it all the way across. We can see this was 35 bars from low to low. So what we are expecting is a bottom to be happening soon, but it really needs to happen literally right now because we're already well below this moving average. The most we've ever been below this 50 simple moving average during this entire bull run. So definitely flashing signals of bearish momentum to me, really, on the weekly. And again, using this cycle momentum, what I'm actually expecting is either on this week or potentially the next couple of weeks, we do have some type of bottoming pattern. And then what we see is the beginning of the next 30-week cycle. So we extend it 30 weeks into the future, which looks like it will end around the middle of June. And then what I do expect is price to come up quite violently, quite quickly, either retest the all-time high at around 130K or just be retesting this high volume zone at around 110 to 120K. What this will allow for is this left hand translated cycle where we actually rise for a very quick and small portion of this 30-week cycle, and then we actually become bearish and continue down during this short-term trend for that majority of the 30-week cycle. Because if we say backtest and now look at this weekly cycle, we can see that the midpoint of this overall cycle is here. And where was the top of this cycle? Well, the top of the cycle was in this right-hand translated of the cycle. Same with this one in our last cycle that literally is ending right now or looking to end very soon. Where can we see the overall top? So here is the midpoint. Where's the top in the market? The top happened well onto the right-hand side of this cycle. So what I'm now expecting is the beginning of the bear trend. What will happen is we will get this left-hand translation. So really been calling for a top in Bitcoin for quite a long time, only because from my analysis here using these weekly cycles, you can actually go back and continuously from the beginning of this bull run, count these roughly 30-week cycles. Here we have a 28-week cycle. Next, we then had a 32-week cycle. And then going back to the beginning, we then had a 29-week cycle. So very consistently, we're having somewhere between 28 and 35-week trends. Now we're looking like getting very close to that trend. So definitely looking for the next trade is going to be buying. Everybody at this point is super bearish, especially because everybody's looking at the same indicators, seeing that we're well below the simple moving average. And they're saying, well, now I'm quite scared. They're getting out of their position, but really this is going to be a great time to potentially accumulate, look for that short-term push to the upside. But then what I really will be taking advantage of is looking for this volume and seeing if institutions are beginning to offload any of their positions. And if they are, then I will definitely be looking to look for some short-term to medium-term trades to the downside, especially with Weex, since they've actually been offering basically free money to all of my followers with this recent partnership. If you actually check the first link in the video description, you'll get this link to Weex. And here, you literally, just by linking your phone number and your email, you get between a $10 to $100 trading coupon. Then, if you follow on social media, you instantly receive another 15 position airdrop. Invite friends. As you deposit, you actually get more. So here you can see make a net deposit of $100. And here you can see a position airdrop 20x. So you can basically take a $100 position with 20x. It looks like a $2,000 position just with a small deposit. And then as you actually begin trading, you can see if you begin trading with $10,000 in volume, you get $5 back. So there you're even getting just cash back on overall, even all of your trading. They're even running right now this VIP airdrop for Gala. So you can trade to claim all these different bonuses. And it actually goes up to $1,000. So you can win up to $200 here and then up to $800 here. So don't forget to check that link. I'm actually using Weex for my trading platform. Overall, the picture for altcoins is slightly different. We can see here Ethereum on the weekly chart actually coming back to retest this weekly simple moving average. But when we actually look at Ethereum, this weekly moving average doesn't mean as much, especially during this period here when we actually traveled well below this exponential moving average. Bitcoin did really nothing of the sort. Even Solana is actually looking quite bearish. When we actually come over and do a channel on Solana, you can see here we've got that clear break below the channel. We majorly retested the channel, come into a closer time frame. We actually had a major symmetrical triangle here, major symmetrical triangle. Symmetrical triangles always favor the direction of the trend, and we can just see that the overall trend, especially on the daily, is down just by using this 20 EMA. Every time we've now come to the EMA, we're using it as a rejection point. So what we really want to see before we continue this bear run potential, what I'm expecting the beginning of the bear run, especially check the link in the video description. I'll leave one of the first links as a video that actually explains these 4-year cycles and why I believe this is the beginning of the Bitcoin bear run, at least for 1 year. And then we go back into that accumulation zone. So overall, actually looking quite bearish right now. I am expecting a short-term push to the upside. We can actually use the Fibonacci to expect some type of 50% retracement back to 110 to 115K. But then it looks like our position will be swapping from bullish to bearish, and potentially looking for another short-term trade. So I'll be continuously updating. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe to keep up to date with all the latest videos, and I'll see you in the next one.